looks great.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Hi, everybody. Good evening. So my name is Alex, and just to give a background of who I am, um, my pronouns are he, him. I'm a senior software engineer at Mosaic.tech. In terms of like career, I specialize in front-end development, user experience design, and products. I know it's like a weird niche, but I do have I do love like making designs for a lot of products and implementing them. Also, I am the community lead for hashtag UI UX of Out in Tech, which is an LGBTQ plus tech community space where we create impact programs such as a digital youth mentorship program and also digital course where we create websites for LGBTQ plus advocacies and nonprofits. Um, yeah, so why do I have a topic of like organizing your styles in Angular project? Like what, like I know it's probably easy, right? And so, but like having experience like a lot with Angular and just like dealing with styles, there's like a lot of like I guess like stress points or pain points that I've experienced that I wanted to share for this talk. And so this talk is just something practical and something that I should be able to explain in like 5 minutes ish, hopefully. um, so yeah, so going back to like my specialty, like engineering UX and products, like what's that? Um, so if you think about like a lot of like the products that have been coming out, um, like for example, Facebook recently they had like a dark mode, which is like ain't dark mode really that easy to implement? Why did it Facebook took long? Similarly, Slack had that like in that product space where like, oh, it's just like a white platform, and then they just like added a lot of different themes. And also, LinkedIn recently had a facelift, like around I think that was like October, and like there was like a big um, surge of people talking at LinkedIn. And so all of these pretty much as a product, when you evolve your product, you will eventually, in terms of implementation, you will need to handle styles. And all of these styles, when grouped together, like in a business sense or like in a product sense, you would create them as themes. Now, during the like year 2000, like when HTML, CSS, and JavaScript were just like slowly splitting off, like life was a bit easier. You just like you probably get a CDN, and you have like a framework CSS that you plug and play in like your HTML. You're probably gonna override it, add shivs, whatever, and you can have like your custom CSS. And then during that time, there were like a lot of strategies that you could employ just to like organize your CSS. Like a Huyer is like really happy creating doing CSS because like it's a pain, but like it's kind of fun, but also like stressful if like your designs are not implemented. And so a lot of the common strategies that we had with the CSS is like like BEM, like block element modifiers, maybe Smax CSS or like Atomic, MCSS, ASS, and Fun. All of these are really good in terms of like breaking down your website or like breaking down your app into their specific styles. But in the advent of component-driven development frameworks such as like Angular, React, and Vue, and like some other stuff, like when that transitioned, the styles became more grouped together based on the component. And so like, how do you manage your styles now? And so in terms of like structuring your folder structure in Angular, Mathis Garberg just like posits that, you know what, you just need to break it down to like a structure like this. But you would notice like at the bottom, like there's not much love in terms of like styles. It's like 3 files. Okay, we're good. But like as along the way, when you create more components, you're gonna have like more styles, and like like how do you make that more modular in terms of that? Another issue, well, aside from that, Angular, what's good about Angular is like off the shelf, you can get like a lot of like rich components, which is material design. And so when you create your Angular project, by default, when you choose like a ng app, or I kind of forgot the syntax, pardon me, but like you will end up like you could choose your like your theming and your styles, and it would look something like this. And the more styles you include, you will just like add it in like here and like more themes, and call it a day for Angular. But the problem with that is you have a lot of style. Like the more themes you have, the more style codes you have. And so what's bad about that, or at least in terms of like your performance for a website or like your app is your bundle, you're gonna have like a bigger bundle size because all of your styles gets loaded. And so another article that like I have as reference is from Kevin Matthew, is like, this is just like how you break down your styles. And so this is just like a way for you to break down your styles. And what he posits there is like in 4 steps. You just like create a folder for your themes, break down your base theme, create a dark theme or whatever name of your other theme is, and then your default theme. And then in terms of like modifying your JSON, you just need to add like an extract CSS true. And then also like I can say like and then you break it down your styles based on like the themes that you want to plug and play. Um, and then inject the service eventually to choose which theme and or whichever like styles you want to package or bundle together. And so that becomes your theme service, and that's how you could actually at least bundle together like your theme. But that solves the first problem of like, I put my theme out with my Angular app, good. But what happens now if you have like a framework, let's say AG or like Kendo UI, or like, I don't know, use Bootstrap or whatever, or you make your own design system, like make your own UI library, which has its own themes and all of that. And so it becomes a bigger problem along the way, because like not only will you have to do the theming for your material design, you're going to have to do your theming for your AG your whatever design system you have. And so given that same concept that you had already from before, that you create your theme, and this is where my talk comes in. I have a big background for my talk, is you just do the same thing essentially for your other frameworks that you have. And so, like when you have like a material theme, break it down also with your theme base, your dark theme, your default theme, AG grid theme, also like a dark theme and default or whatever name, be consistent. And then once you do that, you should just group together all the taxonomy together so that it's easier to plug and play. And so once you do your packaging, or at least your SCSS, you just have like your main theme, your AG grid theme, and then your custom theme if you have one. And all of these 3 can get bundled together into like one import with all of your themes broken down. And so how would that look like in your directory is something like this. Makes it much more easier to look at whichever component and framework. You could change the way you folder your structure if it could be by theme or not, but like at least you have an idea of like what it is and what theme or mixin you have for that one. And that's pretty much it. Like as a demo, which is my, can you see this? Okay. So if you're gonna make like an Angular like app with an AG grid implementation, AG grid has like a default theme and a dark theme. However, when you do like just like a material theme, it does that. And so you have actually 2 theme files that are applied here. It's the background for the material theme and the theme for the AG grid dark theme that's getting applied to here. It's subtle, but like that's like how the bundling happens, and you have like a good bundled approach to your styles. So going back to my presentation, and then just a quick code preview. It's just this. Oops, sorry, that's like a container. So you just like create your theme here, and then this one gets translated to like all of your other styles, which I could not see right now. Wait. Styles. And then here you are. Yeah, so like you just like add here for the custom Angular, and like for the dark theme, you just like add your dark theme. And this is all coming from off the shelf. So that's just like one application of like how you could create your custom theme. And then the service sample is gonna be for the theme service. It just identifies by the name. And then you just like have like this big switch that I just like placed in for the dark mode to set it off with that injected service. So yeah, that is my talk on organizing your styles in an Angular project with frameworks. So thank you. I'm going to post like some links in the chat for those.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. That was awesome. I was about to ask you if we could see the theme service, and then you brought it up for us to see anyway. So
Yeah.
that was
But,
cool.
I also pasted the links for like those two articles because like that was like an actual guide so that you could implement it and then just like
Mhm.
add in your frameworks along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We should be doing that at work. For those that don't know, I work with Alex. All right, cool. Does anyone have any questions for Alex? As usual, feel free to either unmute and ask directly, or you can